Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, and today I am creating some sort of a new recipe. How I cook, if you've been watching me for a little bit of time, I kind of change my mind up as I go, which could sometimes be a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm very much a person that cooks with different ideas and different thought process goes through my head, and like whatever sounds good or flavors that I think would be together or work together well is kind of what I do. So I'm already thinking right now I missed something in here, but we'll get back to that. So what my main goal of today is, we're going to be doing a stuffed acorn squash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these lengthwise and put them face down on a baking sheet in the oven on parchment paper. These are going to take a little while to cook, so that's the first thing that I'm going to do with them. And my oven is already preheated at like 375, 400 degrees is perfect, because these just need to kind of roast, and you want to make sure the inside is nice and soft and tender, delicious. So, and the reason why we put them face down is so like that the heat kind of cooks them as well, because they're kind of like, the heat is trapped inside, so it makes them soft and delicious and all that stuff. So what my plan to do is I kind of wanted to do it like a little bit of a stuffing, like that that thought process. So here I have ground chicken breast, and what I got with that is I've got a few seasonings here. So I'll put that to the side. I picked up some fennel seeds because I really like the flavor of sausage. So, but I don't want the points and the fat in that. So I was gonna kind of create my own like little sausage type flavoring and seasoning, hoping that it'll work out. It's my first time doing this. So I've just got some fennel seeds, some ground thyme that I'm gonna put into this mixture, some peppers, salt. I like using this 21 season salute from Trader Joe's. It's got a lot of different really yummy spices in there. A little bit of paprika, like I said, some salt, some pepper. So we're gonna kind of saute that together. Then I have some carrots, celery. I'm using a red onion. I have a half of a red onion in my fridge. So this is a good way to kind of clean out the fridge. Also, just use what you have on hand. I've got some spinach, so we'll throw some spinach in there. And then I was thinking of, the other thing was either like a grain, so either brown rice or quinoa or farro. I have that as a grain as well. So I'm gonna think about that and see which one I think works well with it as I'm cooking this stuff, because that'll be my last component. And then the other thing that I wanted to do in here, which I thought would be like really, really good for like a fall dish, is dried cranberries. So we may go that route also. I actually have a bag of frozen cranberries in my freezer that I may actually just make like a cranberry sauce. I think we'll go with that. So when I cook and I think of different recipes and things to do, like that's just how my mind goes. Like I was not thinking about creating cranberry sauce, but I like to think of what my products are, points, flavor, and all of that. So really everything here is 0 points if you're following Weight Watchers. So your ground chicken breast is 0. I'm on blue, so it follows the blue plan. Everything else here is 0. If I do fresh cranberry sauce, that will probably be 0 as well. But if I use the dried cranberries, because they have a lot of sugar in them and all of that, that would be points. So I'm thinking fresh is better. And the only other points that I have to think about is for either a rice or a grain or something like that. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna first cut up my acorn squash. Okay guys, so as you can see, I already cut one of my squash already. So you just want to make sure you have like a sturdy cutting board, a good sharp knife. You just want to make sure you've got, you know, you're cutting it correctly, so like that you have equal parts. And what else do I want to say? That's really pretty much it. So you kind of want to figure out where you're gonna cut. And perfect. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna scoop out the inside of both squashes and put the seeds to the side, actually throw them in the garbage, and then we'll put these on our baking sheet. Okay, so our acorn squashes are cleaned inside. This one looked like the top was kind of getting a little bad, so we just popped that off. No biggie. So we've got our acorn squashes here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna spray a little oil spray on them and a little bit of salt on each one. Okay, just a sprinkle of pepper. Okay, so these are done. My oven is heated to 375. I'm gonna turn these over. We're gonna give them a quick, I think a spritz on the outside. I don't know if we should or shouldn't do this, but I guess I'll report back and let you know. So we're gonna keep these in the oven probably for like 30 minutes or so, because you know, it takes a while to cook and get really nice and tender inside. So like I said, the reason why we want to put them, or at least start them this way, and this is a process because this is the first time I'm making this recipe, but it'll entrap the heat inside and it'll funnel it through and kind of cook the inside of the acorn squash. So this is going into my oven and we'll report back. Okay guys, so I have my big pot heating up, my pan. I like cooking in a wok. So that's what I'm cooking in because I like that it has the high sides. So I'm going to put my chicken breast in. We're gonna let that just cook. And to that, I'm going to add my seasoning. So no specific amounts, just a few sprinkles of each. My paprika. And some of my thyme. I'm gonna put the heat up. Mix it all together and cook. Okay guys, so the ground chicken is done. I just put it into a bowl and set aside, and then we're gonna get ready for our veggies to saute for our stuffing. Okay, so in this same wok, I'm just gonna spray some oil. This pan is nice and hot. That is the timer for our acorn squash. So now I'm going to put my stir this up. I love all those colors, how beautiful and vibrant that looks. The only thing I don't want to add to this right now is our spinach, so I'm going to actually move that away so we can get our carrot in there. We just want to saute this until it gets nice and soft. And we're going to check that acorn squash in the oven. Okay guys, I think these are pretty much done. Look how the juices just kind of came out, and all we did was put a little oil, salt and pepper, and now I'm going to flip one of these over. Okay, this is exactly what it is that we're looking for. So when I turned it over, you could see like all that steam and heat just like poured out of this. So this is nice, perfectly tender. I'm going to flip the other three over, and then we're going to just let these cool until our stuffing is done, and then when we're ready to eat dinner, I'm going to stuff them and put them back in the oven to kind of just marinate flavors and all of that. What I will probably also do, because the center is kind of shallow, I may scoop a little bit of this out and put it into our stuffing and put it back in, but we'll see. Okay, these all look phenomenal. Look how beautifully they caramelized on the edges. Perfect. Beautiful, perfect. Can't wait for dinner. Okay guys, as our veggies are cooking down, I just added a little bit of my seasoning, so just a little bit of salt, a little bit of thyme. And we just want these to cook down, nice, translucent, tender. Then we'll put our chicken back in to cook together, and then our spinach. Okay guys, so my veggies are pretty much cooked down enough. So in the beginning I was talking about I kind of just go with the flow and what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking as far as recipes and whatnot. So I have this box of couscous that I was going to add into the mixture to then stuff it into our acorn squashes back there. But I'm actually deciding that I don't want to put any type of rice or anything in the mixture. And what I would rather do is if I want rice, I'll do it on the side. So this is actually a totally 0-point stuffed acorn recipe as it is. Of course, you don't have to use ground chicken breast. You can use sausage. You can kind of do whatever flavors it is that you want. But I kind of like that everything here is 0 points, and then we can add points to the things that we want. Maybe you want some mashed potatoes on the side with gravy, or you want rice, or you know, who knows. Options are endless. So that's how I'm going to do it. I don't know if I actually want rice in here or on the side, so I'm just going to add my chicken back in here, and we're going to add our spinach in as well. Give that a nice toss. Add our spinach in. I did a rough chop to the spinach because I didn't want any big leaves or stems or anything. I'm gonna mix that around, and I found a big bag of cranberries that were frozen in my freezer, probably from early this year. So I'm gonna make a cranberry sauce with this as well, and we'll probably do like mashed potatoes or rice or something on the side, but we're keeping this completely 0. Okay guys, so we're getting ready to stuff our acorn squash. I have my stuffing here that we cooked. It's nice and cool, and then we have our acorn squash here that cooled down too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to kind of scrape the middle and add it to my stuffing. I want to make sure these get nice and filled in here. Okay. So then we're going to mix this up. And we're putting our filling right in. Look at those beautiful colors. Look how great that looks. So I'm going to continue to do these for all the rest of them. Okay, so now that the acorn squash are stuffed, I am going to put these back into the oven because we're ready for dinner in probably the next like 20 minutes. So I'm going to put these back in the oven so like that the whole thing can warm up. But what I'm also thinking is I may put a little bit of mozzarella cheese on top. Maybe at least like, you know, half, 2 of them instead of all 4. I think we're going to try that, but these are absolutely amazing and can't wait to eat them. Okay guys, like I mentioned, I ended up putting some shredded mozzarella cheese on 2 of them, and I'm keeping 2 of them plain just to kind of see what the texture and what it would taste like. So these are pretty much warmed up. I'm going to put them back in just to have the cheese melt, and we're done. I'm so excited for this dinner and can't wait to share with you guys. Okay guys, so I'm working on my fresh cranberry juice. So what I have here is probably like 2 cups of cranberries. I said they were frozen. I zested a whole orange, and I put about, I want to say like a tablespoon of Swerve granulated sugar. So I didn't put any liquid or anything in here because these are frozen and it's going to kind of create its own juice. But I'm just going to mix this up and keep an eye out for it. So if it needs some water, add water, and then we're just going to, all these will end up like popping and creating a nice thick sauce. So I'll show you how that looks as I make it. It's about 15-20 minutes of just cooking down. This is our cranberry sauce. So you're just gonna have to play around with the flavor to see if you like it sweeter or not. You can definitely add more sugar or any other flavorings or anything that you want to it, but this is pretty much done. Fresh cranberry sauce.